Hey guys, most people, I want to tell you guys, I want to have a conversation with you guys. So, most people jump the gun um, on filing their LLC for their business. And so, today, what I want to talk about is three things that you need to do before you file your LLC. And I'm going to tell you that in just a minute. So, for those of you who don't know who I am already, I'm Dr. Maisha Claiborne. I am the founder of the Next Level Physicians Entrepreneurs Institute, and I help doctors and medical professionals leverage their time, leverage their skills to create businesses and careers that they love so they can practice on their terms. So, one of the big questions that I always get in my employed entrepreneur mastermind that I do for docs and other medical professionals is, should I start my LLC? When should I start my LLC? And it's funny because, these eager business owner, the eager entrepreneur wants to jump right into what's the name of the business, get the federal EIN number, build the website, build the LLC before they do some foundational things to even be sure that the business is going to be viable. So there are three things that I want to share with you that I think are very, very important. So the first thing is before you go and actually file your business, file the LLC, if you're a new entrepreneur, you want to make sure that you're even clear about the problem you solve. Now, this may seem obvious to some, but for many of the docs that I've talked to, many of the entrepreneurs, it actually is not. You'd be surprised at how many people they have an idea, but they're not clear about the actual problem that you solve. And in order to get to that, you have to do the research. You have to, it's what I call is the not sexy part of it, right? So you have this idea and you feel like it's a great idea. You're passionate about it, but you need to test and verify. One of the ways you can do that is by asking the people who you think have the problem if that's a problem that needs to be solved. All right. So as an example, when I started my business, and I thought, okay, I want to go and coach physicians around burnout. This is when I first started my company. I started out in burnout coaching. And, before I jumped out of my private practice in integrative medicine, I needed to verify that not only was burnout a problem, but it was a problem that wanted to be solved. So there may be a problem that you feel needs to be solved, but if the people you're trying to solve the problem for don't want it to be solved, well, that's a whole other story. Just to give you another example, when I was first thinking about transitioning out of my business, I thought, well, what needs to be solved is the relationship between the doctor and the patient. And so again, in research, I went out into the community. I, pitched these ideas or the talk to a couple of universities and tried to get some feedback from other academics, other physicians. Is this something that is a concern? And really, it wasn't, not that it was not a concern, but it wasn't a burning need. And as I continued to dig and do the research, like, well, what's behind this sort of fractured doctor-patient relationship? What I found was that part of the problem was this whole underlying burnout situation. So then I turned into this whole burnout community and found that was that real problem at the time that needed to be solved. Now, of course, since then, I've been pulled into career and transition and entrepreneurship because I'm really committed to having docs and medical professionals be fulfilled in their careers and be able to practice on their terms. But my point is, the first thing you want to do is you got to get clear about what you're producing and what problem you're solving, whom you want to solve that problem for, and then do the research and determine is there a need for that problem to be solved, or is there a desire for that problem to be solved? So that's the first thing you want to do. The second thing that you want to do is begin to create the solution, whether it is a consulting program or a coaching program or an online course or write a book. I just got off of a podcast with one of the participants in my mastermind who, when we met, she knew the problem to be solved. She had verified that there was a need and a want and a desire for these people to solve the problem. And what then she went out to do is to go ahead and create the first solution and then test it out. So she wrote a book. Now, you could create a beta program or a beta version of your product, but you want to start to create the solution, create the vehicle in which your solution will be held, and test it out, right? So some people call it test version. Some people call it beta groups, but you want to test it out because that gives you, number one, an opportunity to see whether your solution works. Number two, it gives you the opportunity to get testimonials, and it gives you the opportunity to tweak and adjust along the way and to decide whether this is really the solution you want to provide, whether this calls to you, right? So you want to go ahead and do that next. And then the third thing, so once you've created that beta, and the beta can be free, oftentimes it is a paid version, but it's a little bit lower cost than you would charge for your full program. And if you charge for your beta, then you've actually tackled number 3 and 2 at the same time. And number 3 is you got to sell your program, because guess what? If you can't sell the program, if you can't sell yourself, then you don't have a business. So I always recommend, getting clear on the problem, and making sure there's a need and a desire for that problem to be solved. And inside of that, you also want to make sure your language, you're right. This is some of the things that I teach in the mastermind. Like, how do you get clear? How do you really do that research? And how is it that you then craft your messaging in a way that speaks to the people that desire that change, so that they're interested in what you have to give? And then the second thing is you create your beta version of your product, your program, so you can tweak and adjust. You can actually get the experience of providing this actual solution, and you can also get some testimonials along the way. And then the third thing is you sell the program. Start to generate revenue, because if you know that you can generate revenue, then guess what? Then it's time to start your business. Get your LLC, get your EIN number, get those things that create the foundation of the business, start to build your team, those types of things. But if you don't have a product, if you don't have a solution, if you don't have a problem that you're solving, you're probably not going to have a business. So it's important for you to know those 3 things before you go and you spend the money to file your LLC and get a whole EIN number. I know, because I have done it both ways. I have done it backwards, and then I have done it, the other way as well, the right way as well. So I would love to know, what are your takeaways from today, and what actions you're going to take moving forward in terms of creating your solution and doing the research that you need to do, as well as creating your program, your product. What other topics would you like to hear about? Post those also in the comments as well. All right. So these 3 things are part of the foundations that I teach in my programs and in my foundational masterclass, Cracking the Code. If you want the other 5 or 6 foundations, go ahead and comment, I want the foundations. Put that in the comments, and I will send you the link to that free email course. And then, of course, alternatively, if you feel like you need just a little extra help, and you can jump on a call with me if you need a little extra boost to jumpstart your business or to take it to the next level. You can jump on a complimentary strategy call with me, and that is drmaisha.com/meet me. I'll post a link in the comments, or you can just comment, "I want to meet you," and I'll send you the link. Okay. And finally, if you find this valuable, go ahead again, post your takeaways, but share it because I'm really committed to empowering those docs, those medical professionals who have an idea, who have a fire in their belly, and they're really just looking to know, well, what do I do next? So like it, share it, comment, leave your comments, and definitely I look forward to seeing you on the next video. All right. You guys have a great rest of the day and a great rest of the week. Namaste.